Joker 2. Let's talk about it, because some people have already seen it. Nerdrotic watched it. I saw him on The Real BBC today talking about it with Az and Mahler, and he didn't have very good things to say. He said that it's so bad it will ruin your appreciation of the first movie. That's not good, and it kind of lines up with a lot of the stuff that I've heard. Grace Randolph saw it and said it's basically very much a Harley Quinn movie. And the Joker is kind of, well, it's not made for you. It's made for the people that hated the first one, is what it sounds like. And that just seems like the dumbest decision a studio could ever make. So Todd Phillips is back. He directed the first one. And I guess he kind of upholds tradition of making lousy sequels, like The Hangover 2. Maybe some of you liked it, and enough people liked it that it got a third one made. I hated Hangover 2 and 3. The first one, really good movie. Well, funny movie. It's okay. I never really want to watch it again. I've seen it enough, but it's a funny movie. Has a lot of funny moments. Never needed a sequel, but they gave it two. Joker's the same way, though new information kind of points at this one not doing well. So we have some audience ratings because for some reason there are areas where you can go watch it right now. For me, that doesn't start till Thursday. No theaters in my area playing this now, so I gotta wait. I am really curious to what this movie looks like, so I probably will check it out. Probably sometime within the next week. But critics hate it. 62%. It's like, well, why did you make this movie for them? They still don't like it. They do praise it, though. They call it a movie to stick it to the incels. Basically, kind of summarizing that. But I'll show you something on that when I go to Vanity Fair's review of the movie. The audience ratings, they don't have a number score yet. There's only 50. And, of course, they're mixed. Mixed reviews. Like, here's 4 stars, but here's half a star, 3 stars, 4.5. It's going to be mixed. That's my feeling on this movie. You're going to have mixed reactions. I can't trust critics, though, at least mainstream ones. So I was looking around on YouTube. I saw Jeremy Jahns put a video out on it, and let's just watch 20 seconds of his summary, and you'll see for yourself what I'm saying here. He sums it up perfectly.
That you definitely didn't plan to make. In the end, it's like this. If you had concerns about Joker Folie at all, they're in here. Fear that you have itching in your brain, it's very justified. Because, well, this is a Todd Phillips sequel. Guess I'm just trying to say Joker Folie is to Joker as The Hangover 2 is to The Hangover. It may have been Joker paint, but it was about as exciting as watching paint dry. I'm not going to remember this one in T-1 day. Yeah, already forgot. All right, so Joker Folie have you seen it? What did you think of?
So that's actually pretty good. That's what I've gotten out of reading reviews, that it just didn't need to be made, which shouldn't be shocking because it didn't need to be made. But here's something that also sums up what I'm reading, and this is from the Vanity Fair review. This was published back on the 4th of September, and the reason that they published so early is because if you went to France, there was a film festival there, and you got to watch it. You got to watch it. And that's when the first batch of reviews came out. And there's something interesting right here that I think is worth talking about. And this is why a lot of people are saying, and including Nerdrotic, talked about how it ruins the first movie. It's because of stuff like this. So they're talking about Gaga here. And they say that basically people that were alienated from Joker's grim vision of lonely straight male rage might like this movie. The movie, if you liked it, it seems like this one is intentionally made to stick it to you, which seems kind of counterproductive. Wouldn't you want to make something for the fans of the first one? Because they were the people that propelled you to $1 billion. I mean, that movie was a massive hit, but instead you're going to stick it to the fans of the first one. And there's a lot of evidence that points to that being the thing, especially if what I read about the ending is true. So they even bring that up in this, saying, yeah, the ending might enrage even the most diehard of Joker believers. So this movie not shaping up very well, and it looks like the box office is going to be a disaster as well. So this is from Game Rant, and they took a look at 2 box office bombs from 2023 and compared Joker 2's early ticket sales to those movies. What movies were those, you're asking? Well, one of them is Indiana Jones 5, and the other is The Flash. 2 big box office bombs. That's not good. That's bad. They're saying that projections suggest Joker 2 may actually open at $55 to $65 million. And that's, of course, falling below the original Joker's earnings. And it's even falling below previous predictions, which had it reaching up to like $70 million. That's not good, because that's still below the original film's opening. Now, what could save this movie? Well, maybe it's good, and it gets good word of mouth. That would save it. You kind of need good word of mouth to do well in today's climate. Without it, you don't get anywhere. A really good example of that is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Its opening weekend wasn't anything horrible, but it also wasn't blowing the doors off of anything. Everyone was comparing it, I think, to Ant-Man 3. But you know what? That movie ended up making a lot of money. And you know why? Well, it was actually good, and people waited for that news, and they went and saw it more and more. It had good word of mouth. That's the point I'm making here. And that saved it. That's actually saved a few movies and pushed a few movies over the top. Inside Out 2 benefited from word of mouth, kept people going. Deadpool and Wolverine, I would argue, benefited from word of mouth. A lot of people are now waiting for confirmation from friends and critics they trust, people they know. They want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Is this a good movie? They don't want to hear it from critics anymore. That's why the low critic scores really, I don't put too much stock in them, because audiences really don't pay attention to them anymore. And I think that this movie, I don't know where to judge it, but just looking at those 50 reviews, they were kind of mixed. I think this is going to have a mixed audience score too. We'll see, but I don't see a situation where the modern audience comes in and saves this movie. They've never came in and saved anything anyway, but this is going to be a disaster. Now, the first film had a modest budget. I think 55 to 70 million for Joker 1. Now, the problem with Joker 2 is the budget is much higher. Reading about 200 million. At least that's what I got on a Google search coming from Bleeding Cool News. People over on Reddit talking about it. Variety's got an article saying 200 million. That's a lot of money, which makes this a much more riskier film. So I don't think it's going to do that well. I think it is going to be a stick it to the lNCELS movie, like I'm hearing, because that's like a common thing nowadays. Stick it to the fans. Well, that never works out very well. I don't think anybody wanted to make this movie. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix wanted to make it. They just gave him a lot of money. I don't think Todd Phillips wanted to make it. They just gave him a lot of money. And this is what we got. I don't know. Are you excited to see this movie? Are you going to see this movie? What do you think this movie is going to do? Let me know in the comments. What are your predictions? Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.